Fly. We're previewing the predicting to recapping World Junior Championships, our Men's World Championship, the Women's World Championship, the U18 Men's World Championship. Expect the unexpected.
Absolute abomination of the Canadian Junior Nationals.
I have a couple extra words I want to use on that one. And it's Freebird. Freebird, Freebird, Freebird. Of course, the Olympics are just around the corner. I'm going to coin it the rivalry day.
Your home for international hockey. This is On the Fly.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to On the Fly. We are back for another Canadian live stream today. Hopefully today's live stream will be a little bit different than when we're back to what happened yesterday. A little bit of a disappointing performance for the Canadian women, but we are back and we are looking forward now to some semifinal action between Canada and Finland. It's going to be a tight one today. Two teams battling it out. Basically an NHL roster. We think back to the Four Nations where, yes, Canada ended up winning that game, went up early by quite a bit. Finns battled back, made it real interesting. And it'll be interesting now is what's to come. And is this Canadian team going to be upset in the semifinals? Are the Finns going to play a miracle game and take out the Canadians? Or is this game going to go more than kind of expected? Should be definitely interesting to see over the next 2 and a bit hours. If you have not already, please do smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and as well as always, let me know in the poll who you think is going to win and drop your score predictions in the chat. But the real question we are all wondering is, what is the poll at right now? 10 votes in, 60% for the Finns, 40% for Canada, which according to my simple math is 6-4. So early signs pointing well for the Finns in this game. We'll see if that carries forward through today. But we will shift quickly to our playoff picture as the teams are yet to take the ice so far. As we look at our playoff picture, and you think about it, right? It's been a bit of a ride to get here for really all of these teams. And you look for the Czechs, and they played Canada. The Czechs coming off of a little bit of a tough game against the Danes. And then they nearly put an upset into Canada. And the Canadians, that's kind of their first real taste of adversity in this tournament. And is it good it's coming in the quarterfinals and not coming in the gold medal game? Probably. But now they're going to go up against a real tough Finnish team who has faced quite a bit of adversity in this tournament. They dropped their opener, which is never an easy thing to do. And now it's a matter of, well, can they continue this upset trend and maybe put one in of their own? They beat the Swedes already. The Swedes play pretty similarly to how Canada plays. So that's definitely a step in the right direction for sure. But it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a very interesting game today. Two teams battling it out for glory. And then the winner probably takes on the U.S. You could look across the way. USA-Slovakia. That's always a good matchup. And as much as, yes, the U.S. should win that game, and they're probably pretty heavy favorites, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are enter ice clock time of day. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to be able to pull off the upset. But it's going to be a great game today. And between Canada and the Finns, USA, Slovakia, it's always a good one. And we're going to see if either of these teams, Finland or Slovakia today, the European countries, are going to be able to upset the North American ones. As we welcome in a lot of our Finnish, Slovakian, and Latvian friends today. Welcome aboard and glad to have you all with us today. If you have not already, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment as well. It's going to be a good one today. And we are just under 3 minutes away from puck drop in this one. Obviously a huge game for both these teams. And it's going to ultimately come down to which style. Which style of game these two teams bring. And so, be a real good game, right? And it always seems to be between these two. So, time will tell. As it does appear both teams have taken the ice or are in the process of taking the ice. Notable injuries from today. For the Canadians, we'll start with Sidney Crosby out of the lineup today for the Canadian squad. And you think about what the value he brings, not just on the ice, but off it. Doesn't appear like it's looking very good for him. The fact that he was offered to wear a brace, they offered to make a custom brace, and then he still wasn't able to go. Tough news for him. Because of international hockey rules, you have to have a designated captain, and so Canada has designated Connor McDavid as their captain today for this game. Once Crosby comes back, Crosby will regain the C, but for this game and potentially for the final game, depending on if Crosby's good enough to return, it does appear that Connor McDavid will be the captain of this team moving forward. I'm not entirely sure who got the replacement A. I know Marchand got it back at Four Nations, so we'll see if that trend continues here. But because of international rules, you have to designate a captain, and so McDavid is the captain for this game for Canada. We'll see if he's going to be able to live on Crosby's legacy here and maybe make it a little more interesting than it should be. McKinnon has an A. So they're showing kind of the down the line, the bench. Yeah, I would assume Marchand would be the other A of today's game, if I had to guess. As we are just moments away from puck drop, Saros in net for the Finns. Binnington in net for the Canadians. Finland starts the Lundell line, Canada with the Bennett line. A rematch of the Four Nations face-off. And we will see which team prevails today. Huge implications on the line. As Lundell wins the opening draw for the Finns. Back into his own end for Ristolainen now. Miklik clears it down. Harley rims it around the boards to Franco. Marchand down to Bennett. Marchand wheels it up now. Marchand with some speed over to Hagel. Hagel shot. Blockered away by Saros. And Kakko will dump it down into the Canadian end. Celebrini's line with Wilson and McDavid now out there. Captain Connor McDavid. Jam play. Glove save by Saros. Wilson tried to jam it over to Celebrini there. This game feels a little bit less nerve-wracking than yesterday, but I know in about an hour's time it's going to be about the same. Oh, and a great play there. Great save by Saros. Coming on the delayed tip. Heiskanen now. We'll give the long dump down. Hintz will dump it down for the Finns. And the Finns will go after it. Put on some pressure. Canadians collect it behind their own net. Makar over to Tays. And pass goes just by Suzuki. Tipped. Here comes Cale Makar with it now. Wheeling and dealing. Bit of a sloppy start for this one so far. Not very crisp for either side. Celebrini dumps it down deep. And Wilson takes a run. Welcome back to this game. And Paolo with it. Let's see what our chat's saying. Hope Finland wins, but Canada will probably win. Hopefully Canada can win today. Hope Slovakia, my country, will do something against the U.S. That would be something special. I would very much like to see that. Is it likely? Probably not. But it's the beauty of these tournaments is really anything can happen right up to the end. What else we got? Swiss would make it 2, but I don't know that would happen. So it's going to play against Slovakia. Do you think you could win the World Championship in Switzerland? Shot from the point, Binnington with the save. Bit of an awkward save there, but matters is he gets it done. This game, I feel, could get really interesting really quickly here today. As we are 23 votes into our poll, 23 votes into our poll, 57% say Canada, 43% for the Finns. Makar will cycle it down looking for Wilson, but tied up and cleared back into the Canadian end. Finns have done a real good job so far clogging up the neutral zone, making it real tough for Canada to get much going. Oh, but there it is. McDavid to Celebrini. Shot. Celebrini whiffs on it. Granlund, Teravainen. Ristolainen. Oh, and a huge reverse hit there. Celebrini dumps it off to McDavid, who's storming in. McDavid, cross crease, Celebrini shot. Saved by Saros. Good one-timer attempt there. So we hit the 17-minute mark. Oh. Yeah, Canada early here is looking like the better team, and frankly they should be, but early on in these games you tend to see a bit of a struggle, so good to see the Canadians finding their rhythm early on. Bennett loses the draw. Heiskanen dump it down. Look for the attack. Puck comes off Theodore's stick. Kakko. Lindell. Shot from the point. Blocked out front by the Canadians. Heiskanen. Room it around to Lindell. Kakko. Canadians will clear back up. Reinhardt up the wing. Dumps it down deep. Be interesting to see which team comes out here with this first goal, because it would be a huge momentum swing, especially for a team like the Finns to get that first one. Especially as a team that can play so well defensively. Could be a quick death sentence for a Canadian team. Saho wheels it around. Shot from Mookie. Hurry from the point. Blocked out front by the Canadian. McKinnon battling with Lehkonen. And how about the Finns' path to get here, though? You think about it, right? Like, the fact that all they have to do is come back 2 goals in a game against the Swiss, who are already one of the better teams at this tournament. I mean, what a path. Well-earned path, too, I might add. Mata will dump it down the boards now. Finns work it back in. A lot of dump and chase so far from the Finnish team. Haven't been able to get to those pucks yet, but as they start to wear down those defenders, could become a little bit more important. Granlund passes it on to Hintz. Hintz shot. Saved by Binnington. Offside, offside. Hand pass. Yeah. Okay, I'm back to being nervous again. Who do you think will win in our poll? 29 votes in, 62% for the Canadians, 38 for the Finns. Does appear that it's at least a little bit nicer now for our Canadian boys over in Italy. McDavid lines up against Aho. Not a very competitive draw for McDavid there. Ristolainen will dump it all the way down. Makar misses the outstretched stick with Taze. Celebrini dumps it down. Finns pick it back up. It's offside. It's very much offside. Makar stretch pass to Celebrini. Celebrini has been such a good ad for this Canadian team too. Coming into this tournament, I didn't think he'd add as much. I don't think he'd add anywhere close to the value he did. But I mean, obviously, been proven wrong so far. A big hit by Tom Wilson that they're showing on replay. So how is everybody doing who's watching along here? How are our Finns in our chat doing? That's the better question. And probably the more important question, to be completely honest. We are just under 15 minutes to play here through in the first period, and it's been a bit of a slow start really for both these teams. I mean, the Canadians have been able to generate really one or two chances so far, but not very much outside of that. And same really for the Finns. Had one or two good chances, and the rest has just been a lot of dump and chase so far in this game. Be interesting to see if that changes as this one moves forward, and if it does, perfect. If it doesn't, then could be in for a bit of a long game. As the top line for Canada will jump over the boards, a bit of a late change there. As the McDavid line will hop out onto the ice. And McDavid loses another face-off draw today. The puck. More neutral zone trap. Celebrini dumps it off to McDavid, who wheels in. McDavid throws on the brakes, turns it back. Sanheim shot from the point. Turned away into the corner. Wilson down to McDavid. McDavid to Sanheim with the shot. Just misses over the net. Sanheim wheels it in. Some room, backdoor chance. Wilson misses it on the backside. Doughty skated it in his own end here. Tips it down. Saros plays the puck, rims it around the boards, and the Finns will break out the other way. Luosterainen to Lindell, shot saved by Binnington. And I think this game is maybe back to being nervous again. I don't really like do or die games all that much, to be completely honest with you guys. McKinnon wins the drawback to Makar. Makar tips off the referee. Rantanen throws on the brakes. Can't get it through though. As Aho. Aho tipped out in front, saved by Binnington. Oh, that could have been delay game. Yoki, how are you? Passes it off to Lehkonen. Down to Rantanen. Yoki, how are you? But broken up there by Bo Horvat. Real good defensive play there by Horvat. Very much. Oh, and a big hit by Jarvis. Porter could have been called a board too. Granlund with the big hit. Hintz with the big hit. Canadians break it back up the other way. Marner dumps it down deep. Suzuki will go in after it. Granlund shoots it into his own guy, Hintz. Mikkola, shot blocked. Harley up to Suzuki. Suzuki skates with it. He'll dump it down deep. And the Finns will regain it behind their own net. Ristolainen works out with it now. Up to the red line, we'll dump it all the way down. Oh, and it jumps off the stick. Shot, save, rebound. Saved by Binnington. Lundell there on the chance for the Finns. And the Canadians work it back up. Celebrini, shot, misses way wide. Theodore gets the puck behind the Canadian net. Pinch down there. McDavid in the vicinity. All up. Down to Armia. Armia misses that one. Marchand. Battle for it down low. Finns look like they're... Oh, no, but Marchand does come out with the puck. Sanheim. Over to Taze. To Bennett now. Picked off. But a Canadian defender there. There's a lot of players on the ice there. So many men on the ice. What are we doing, guys? Come on. Oh, my God. They're actually about to lose this game. Like, oh, my God. This is going to... How many? Let's count them. 3, 6, 7 players. 7 of them. John, what are we doing, buddy? What a disaster. How that guy has a job still, I don't understand. And you know that that's going to be enforced, especially after your last game where you complained about it nonstop. Come on. Got to be better than that. The Finns will go on the power play here. Heiskanen. Over to Granlund. And cleared out to neutral ice, but not all the way down. Granlund back to Heiskanen. Heiskanen dips and dangles, gets the puck in. Over to Rantanen. Rantanen to Heiskanen. Heiskanen to Granlund. Top of the line, Heiskanen. Down to Rantanen. Down the goal line to Aho. Rantanen backdoor jam play to Granlund. Just misses wide over the stick of Granlund there. And cleared to the neutral ice again. Heiskanen. Dips and dangles in the neutral zone. Dumps it off to Hintz. Granlund loses an edge. Dumps it all the way down the ice. Mark Stone. Marner closing in on Heiskanen on the forecheck here. There's a minute left to go now in the Finnish power play. Shots are 7-3 for the Finns so far in this one. Still tied 0-0. Oh, stretch pass here to Mark Stone. But he'll dump it down deep. Not enough wheels. Not enough wheels. Lundell down to Hintz. Hintz will dump it down deep. The Finns will give it a chase. And Makar takes the puck, shoots it down the ice. And that will just about do it for the Finnish power play. 10 seconds left to go. Unlikely they get much more here. And Marchand turns back up the other way for the Canadians. Marchand shot way up over the ice, over the glass. And no shots on that power play for the Finns. The game still does remain 0-0. And I'd say as much as, yes, there hasn't been a whole lot of action so far, this is kind of how this game was expected to go. The Finns, a team that just play boring hockey and know how to win that way. That's what separates teams like Finland and Canada is the Finns are willing to go to that boring type game, knowing that they'll win it, number one, and knowing that, frankly, they can play that. I think that's one of the biggest differences for them is that they're not afraid to play boring hockey. The Canadians, a little bit too much pride to do that. So the longer this game stays close, the better and the more it favors the Finns because for the Finns, if you're going to win this game, it'll be 2-1, 3-1. Sure, you can score goals with Canada, but if you get into a scoring battle, you're not going to win that. And barring any absolute disasters with goaltending, then that just becomes even less likely to really be honest. So they're showing the 2014 and 2016 gold medals at the World Juniors for Team Finland. And for the Finns, you think to their World Juniors the last few years in particular, and they have been sniffing around and they've been to the gold a couple times. It's just a matter of them getting over that hump. And every year, it's kind of the same storyline as, well, the Finns not necessarily going to be all that good this year. And then sure enough, they are. Oh, and here comes the Armageddon line for Canada. McKinnon, McDavid, and Celebrini will hop onto the ice. Look to be another late change for them. So they're really taking advantage of this late change. See if the Armageddon line can get one here. McDavid loses another face-off draw. He's not been very good so far at the dot. Goes to Ryan, they'll dump it down deep. Sanheim would chase back and collect it behind his own net. Hands it off to McDavid. He'll come in with speed. Captain Canada, Connor McDavid today. With Sidney Crosby out. Doughty shot from the point. Goes way wide. Celebrini dumps it off to McKinnon. McKinnon tries to jam it over to McDavid, but won't be able to get it there. Celebrini now loses the puck, and the Finns will break out the other way. Mikkola dumps it all the way down for the Finns into the Canadian end. Suzuki shoots it all the way around. Finns now dumps it down deep. There really hasn't been all that much so far to this one, as far as real chances go. But once again, that's the game plan coming in for the Finns is if you can shut down the Canadian offense and make them try and force things, at some point you're going to get a turnover or two and chase it back up the other way, and it's worked for them so far. Rantanen breaks in. Locked down by the Canadian defense. Here comes Cale Makar. Where did the puck go? Oh, it's back up there. Makar. Taze. To Celebrini. Over to Tom Wilson now. Celebrini shoots down to McDavid, but just off his stick. Granlund. And the Finns will dump it back. 6 minutes to go left now in this first period action. Still tied at 0. Shots are 7-3 in favor of the Finns. McKinnon. Back to Horvat, rather. McKinnon. It's tied up again in the corner. Not a whole lot of space in this game for players like McKinnon to really use their speed. McKinnon now tries to wind it up, but locked down by Granlund. Clearly the Finns have done their homework on this game. Probably one of the best quotes we heard from yesterday was the Antti Pennanen one, where basically goes, yeah, we're going to call Alexander Barkov to figure out how to shut down Connor McDavid. After 2 cup wins against the guy, you'd think Barkov might have some insight. As the Canadians break it back in. Oh, but another clogging of the defensive end for the Finns, and it's they've certainly followed their game plan at this point in the game, and you can't fault it because it works. And it's the reason why they're always so competitive as the Armageddon line hops out onto the ice with McDavid. I would assume Celebrini's over there too, and McKinnon. As they have taken McDavid now out of the face-off dot. Probably a good call for McKinnon. McKinnon wins the draw for the Canadians. Theodore down to Sanheim. Shot tipped out in front. Puck bounces up and just over the net. Some scary moments there for the Finns. Heiskanen down to Celebrini. Celebrini tries to dump it out front. No one there. McKinnon now to Theodore. Over to Sanheim. Sanheim works it down below the goal line. To McKinnon. McKinnon starts to wheel. Throws on the brakes. McKinnon shot! From the low angle. Hits off the outside post. The puck will go all the way down. 4 minutes now left to go in this first period. Shots 7-5 for the Finns. Pretty slow game to start this one, but starting to heat up on the offensive side. Harley. No icing ruled. Matt and Paulo. Really, both teams have done a real good job so far at clogging up the neutral zone. The Finns have really struggled to get anything going offensively, but you know it's going to be 1 or 2 chances off the rush that is really going to end up changing turning the tide in this game. Bennett now. Bennett shot, saved by Saros. Oh, and he shoves his own guy into him. Mikkola goes flying into Saros there. As Mikkola goes flying after Bennett, his own teammate in Florida. You don't see that one every day. Sam Bennett with the shot, throws his own guy into Saros, or throws the Finnish defender into Saros. And that is Canadian hockey, if I've ever seen Canadian hockey. Gotta use players when you gotta use players. What can we say? On the fly, how do you feel this morning? I feel excited but nervous is what I'd say. And excited for the fact that Canada plays a playoff game today. Nervous for the fact that Canada plays a playoff game today. But overall excited. And especially coming off of yesterday. Hopeful that this men's team can maybe, just maybe, find their way through. Guys, it'd be a real tough one for Canadians alike to go 0 for 2 at these tournaments. Expected goals at least one. Typically you want both, but can't always get what you want, I guess. If you have not already, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and vote in our poll. We're at 46 votes so far for who you think will win. 58% say Canada, 43% for the Finns. Make sure to register your vote, as it tends to actually decide who ends up taking these games. As Sam Bennett will, I would assume, end up in the box for that whole play, throwing the defender into the goaltender. Right? Like that's a rough, stupid play. And then Saros goes flying after Bennett, and rightfully so. As they're looking up at the board now, so I'd assume the Finns are on the power play here. I'd be surprised if they weren't. Yes, and the Finns will have a power play here. Shot, scores! Right off the draw. Rantanen for the Finns gets Finland the early lead. Oh no. This is going to be a long game. Yesterday's demons keep haunting Canada. A brutal penalty by Sam Bennett leads to the opening goal in this game. Shot right off the draw by Mikko Rantanen. Tips off the Canadian stick and goes top corner. Bo Horvat's stick in the vicinity on that one. Oh my god. That's brutal. That is that's such a bad penalty to take too. Like, that's actually so bad. The fact that you're giving those chances to a team like the Finns shows that this team's not ready to play today. John Cooper, now they parked the bus. They really do, and that's Finnish hockey at its finest, right? They make you go and try and score, and if you force too much, they'll transition it back the other way. That's how they beat teams like the Swedes, right? As they get up early, and then they just suffocate you to sleep. That's the beauty of how the Finns play, and that's why they've been so good at just about every tournament they ever play at, because they have a system and they stick within it. And they've been getting progressively better at this tournament too. Oh my god, this is going to be a long game. Come on, Canada, figure it out. Finns are taking this one. I have to agree. McDavid now works in. McDavid shot. Saved by Saros. Wilson tries to feed it to Celebrini. Can't get it through. Crosby's hurt. Yeah, he's out. He's not in this one. Connor McDavid is the captain of the team for today. And so we'll see if there's any implication there. Horvat, Suzuki, back down to Taze. Rims it down. Gannon now picks up the puck in the offensive end. Makar wheels it around. Makar down to Taze. Taze shot from the point, tipped out front, but cannot find its way into the net. Kakko tries to dump down for the Finns. Can't quite do it. There's a little bit of action in front of the Canadian bench. McKinnon now wheels around, dumps it off to Horvat. Jarvis can't get the puck in the corner as we enter the final minute of this first period. Shot wide of the net. It's Harley now. Moves it up. McKinnon. Jarvis tries to slide it down the line but can't. 35 seconds left to go in the first period. Canada does trail by a goal. They trail in the shot totals 8-7. It's been a bit of a slogfest type first period, favoring the Finns as always. Canadians really haven't been able to get much going. As McDavid now starts to wheel it out. 15 seconds left to go in this first period. Canada will look for a late goal. Shoots it in. Tries a McDavid bank pass and ruled off. Icing or offside maybe? Whatever it is, it'll come back into the Canadian end. I can appreciate that it's 1-0 and there's still 40 minutes of action to play, but like the fact that the Canadians didn't score the first goal is a bit alarming, to be completely honest. McDavid now looks for a late one. 4 seconds. Shot from the point. Saved by Saros. And that will do it for the first period of action here in the semifinals. A real good start for the Finns. A near perfect start for the Finns. And they do lead by 1 goal heading into the first intermission. Shots were tied at 8-8. And such a brutal game already for the Canadian team. We will see as this one goes onwards if the Canadians are going to have some sort of big comeback. But the Finns, I mean, their game plan coming in was make it a slogfest type game, make it impossible for a team like Canada to really get much going in, and they've done that so far, and credit to them, right? And you look to a team like the Canadians, they want to get going offensively. They're expected in this game to score goals. They're expected to win by a margin. But teams like the Finns are always designed to beat teams like Canada, beat teams like the US, beat teams like Sweden, because they know how to beat them, because they play a team game. They don't have to win by a high margin like teams like Canada do, and that's what separates them. So we will see if Canada's going to be able to pull off a miraculous comeback now. It's a 1-goal lead, yes, but it feels, and it always feels whenever you play the Finns, like a 1-goal lead is more like a 5, 6, or 7-goal lead because of how well they play defensively. So especially if the Finns get a second goal before the Canadians get any, it could be in for a long game. And yes, you look back to Four Nations, and Canada had a bit of a go there too, where they nearly choked that game away at the very end. But I will say that best-on-best hockey is so much better than really anything else in this world. Now they call too many players on the ice. Yeah, exactly, right? But the other thing is when you complain about a call as much as the Canadians did about the too many men on the ice call, refs have to watch for it, right? And unfortunately, when you do that, you put yourself in a bit of harm's way. And for the Canadians, like, you complained, as a country, we complained extensively about, well, there was 6 players, there's really 7 or 8 players on the ice. But if you're going to do that, you have to appreciate that the refs are going to be looking for it. And so if you're stupid enough to do it, after complaining about it for 2 straight days, they're going to call it. So anyway, and then you throw a guy into his own goaltender after the whistle and don't expect, that's stupid hockey. And you deserve what was coming in that period. I'm not shocked at all. I mean, like, the fact that the Finns score on their power play, you give them enough opportunities, and eventually they're going to capitalize on it. Like, as much as, yes, players like Bennett, Marchand are expected to be guys that are going to cause problems, Wilson as well, that are going to get in the opponent's head, there's a line you have to walk. And at some point, it's a stupid play to take, and it's an even stupider penalty to take if you're Sam Bennett there. The Finns got that dog in them. They can win games through pure grit. They really can. And it is what separates a team like the Finns from, a lot of the other competition. As the CBC broadcast now is making a joke about how many people they have on their panel, and so they've put on the numbering of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 because they only have 5 people on this panel. You're reckoning theory smiling somewhere. I'm watching on Peacock. Nice. Classic Bennett. That's what he did during the playoffs. Well, and that's what makes him such a good player and normally is he's able to get in the other team's head, but typically it's staying above the line. And there's certain plays you can't do, and especially in an elimination game like this where every goal matters, and you're going up against the Finns where even more so, every single goal you make matters. So, especially for Canada, where you can even look ahead to what's to come, and if they end up pulling out the win in this game, they take stupid penalties against the U.S. with their power play, it's going to end up in the back of your net. You do the same thing with the Slovaks. Slovaks have been riding a bit of a hot hand lately, but if that cools off, then a bit more of a tough one. But their star talent on their power play are going to score goals. So, I mean, take it as you will, right? And it's great. It's great to say, well, they're not going to come back. But the Canadians are making their lives extremely, extremely, extremely difficult right now. And they're going to need to clean it up if they're going to be able to beat this Finnish team because the Finns are always good, right? And we talk a lot in our recap videos about the Finns and how they play their trap style and how they are so effective playing it because they've done it for years. And they know what to do against teams who need offense, because the Canadians need offense because that's what they're designed to do. And so by collapsing, you frustrate the daylights out of them. They make mistakes. They throw your own guys into your goaltender. And so at some point, that becomes the difference maker. So for the Finns, yes, you're playing the exact game you need to right now. And so we'll see if they can keep it going. We'll switch over back to our playoff picture as we talk about the only other game of today. As we normally do this on the first intermission, talk about some of the other games of the day. Our second intermission is more about answering your questions or your comments, talking to your comments in the chat. And so one other game today, USA taking on the Slovaks in what might be one of the better games of the day. And you look at the Slovak team, they've been riding very hot lately. And obviously, they start with beating the Finns. They lose to the Swedes, but they're able to keep that margin in within what they needed. They beat Italy in a bit of a tight game, one that I'm not sure they were quite expecting. Then they blow the living doors off of the Germans in probably one of their most dominant games of the tournament. And then you carry it into their game against the U.S. today, where I wouldn't say anyone on the U.S. side should feel confident about this game. Yes, they're favorites. Yes, they should be favorites. But this game is a lot tighter than most people are going to give it credit for because, the NHL players are way better than what the Slovaks have. But you look at the Slovak team, and that's why they're good, is because similar to the Finns, and I can appreciate at this term the Finns aren't a great example of this, but it doesn't really matter who the Slovaks have on the ice at any given time because they play a very systematic game, and they're very good with their depth this year as well, that they're not NHL guys, right? And some of them have played in the NHL in the past, but their players that they'll rely upon are in their depth side. And yes, you look to Juraj Slafkovsky. Yes, you look to Albert Dvorsky, Simon Nemec as well. But what separates the Slovaks is that they have a full team of offense, and they have a full team of defensive forwards too. Like they're like just about every good team at this tournament. They're just need one good game, one hot goaltender, Lavai, who's been playing extremely well. And so if they can find their best game, they'll probably walk away with the win today. But for the U.S., if they take a nap, they're going to get punished today. And so it's ultimately going to come down to how the U.S. plays that really will end up deciding this, because the U.S. doesn't play well or takes a break at any point during this game, you're going to see the Slovaks start to capitalize on that. And so it will be interesting, right? And it's part of the deal with these kind of tournaments is, yes, you can go down, yes, you can go up. But in the end, you're going to have to play your best hockey to beat a team like the Slovaks, who want nothing more than to upset the Americans at this tournament, earn their chance to a gold medal, guarantee themselves for a medal, whether it's gold or silver. And then all they'd have to do is pull off one more upset. And they've already beat the Finns. You can ask the Finns how well that game went for them. They play a frustrating style of hockey. They have good goaltending. They have really good depth forwards. They have some good star talent on their team. They have decent defense. And that's what you look for, right? And that's the epitome of what a good upset-worthy team has. And the Slovaks are exactly that. And I'm excited, to say the least, for this game because it very well could go either way. And for a team like the U.S., they're going to walk in there so overconfident that, oh, we've already made the gold medal. We got through our game against the Swedes. This Slovak team is going to be not up to the standard that we're going to play at. But they're in for a rude awakening today, and I'm excited to see this game because I honestly do think that the Slovaks have a shot in this one. Obviously, I haven't been terribly high on the Slovaks since the start of this tournament. I do still think that out of the 4 semifinal teams, they're probably still the beating stick down there. But they play the type of game they play. If they can play it well and against the American team, they might be able to pull off the upset. Okay, back to our chat. Slovaks been pretty volatile. Some games they look excellent, some games they look mediocre, and that's exactly right. And I'd say that you look at the Swedes and the Slovaks, the Swedes and the Slovaks, the U.S. and the Slovaks, they play very different styles. And the Slovaks take care of it defensively. The U.S. a lot of offense, and in a very short time frame. If the Slovaks come to play today, the U.S. is going to be in for a bit of a rough game. And there's not much getting around that. I do think that you can look back to the World Juniors and the way that the Slovaks played against the U.S. in that game, very similar to what you can expect in this game. And yes, the talent level is a little bit different compared to the World Juniors to now, and there's a different level of refinement on their game. But I do think that especially for a team like the Slovaks, where they very well could pull off one of the better upsets, they play really well defensively. They can shut it down when they need to, but they can also generate some offense. That's the recipe for a good team that can pull off an upset. And we saw that against the Finns, right? And in no imagination would I say the Slovaks dominated that game, but they picked their moments. They picked them well. They shut down the Finns' offense, and that is exactly what they need to do to win that game. That's exactly what they're going to need to do today, where you're going to go up against a really good U.S. team. I think that that game has a lot of upset written all over it, same as this game, right? And the Finns very similar to the Slovaks, where they can pull off an upset at any given moment. But at the same time, you need to play your best game if you're the U.S., if you're Canada, if you want really any shot at being a competitive team at this tournament. It's definitely something to keep an eye on there for both these teams going into the semifinal game, trying to continue that momentum into gold. And, of course, we will see if they can get it done. And then what else we got? How would you feel about turning Olympic knockout matches into best of 2 legs? So much entertainment between the best sides. I felt the women's gold match should have been best of 2 legs, especially USA and Canada being miles ahead of everyone else in quality. It's an interesting point, and I think they do that in soccer, football, where basically if you win, then all you have to do is tie the next game, because it's like a round robin essentially. And if you don't, then it comes down to the rest of it, where you do the same thing again, and you play the second game. So I think that, yes, it's definitely a possibility to do. as it does appear that the Canadians women's curling team lost today. I think that it's a possibility, and it'd be interesting to see because I think it discourages upsets. And as much as you look at Canada and the U.S. and say, well, they're so far 1-2, right? And you could make an argument for that. You can also say, well, the Czechs, the Swedes, the Swiss, the Finns are all kind of sniffing around there. But the Canadians and the U.S. have always kind of been a pretty standard 1-2. I do think, though, that if a team like a Czech, like a Finn, like a Swede, end up in that gold medal game, you want it to be a one-game knockout. Because a team like any of the 4 underdog teams, they can probably win one game. And they might be able to slog one out, make it kind of that tight margin win. But you play a second game, and the best team is probably going to win. And so I think as far as entertainment factor goes, you want it to be one game because it discourages upsets, number one. Because even we saw it at this tournament, right, where in their opener for Canada when they played Switzerland, they beat them by a decent margin. And not to say Canada played well in that game, they really didn't. But then you play them in the semis, and it's a 2-1 game. And that one it really could have went either way. And so I do think that by eliminating that one game, by adding a second game in there, as much as yes, and probably make the better teams win, I think that you discourage upsets. And even Canada, right, where you think about the Canadian team against the U.S., where Canada was the underdog in that one after getting blown out 5-0 in their opener in the prelims, I think that you could make a very good argument to say, well, if it's a one-off, they might be able to get it to overtime. But if you play a second game, then they're going to get blown out in one, and they won't be able to come back in the other. And so I think that as much as, yes, I would agree that overtime and 3-on-3 and shootouts, they're not great for the game, I just think that it's going to be very difficult to try and enforce that. And then you get into the argument of, well, for ties, right, there's an argument to be made for ties. Because you can say, well, it's a two-leg game, basically, is what that would suggest. So you could make an argument to say, well, there's no need to play overtime or shootouts, which is fair. But I do think that for teams like the U.S., for Canada, you kind of want it to be a one-gamer, just so the upset factor still is there. You get to grow the game a lot more. Teams that are not necessarily big upset teams still have a chance, and I'm excited. I'm excited to say the least because it's gonna be a good one, especially as this game grows. And we talked about it in our recap video for the women's side yesterday. We actually had a pretty long discussion about that, about the overtime, the 3-on-3, and how even in this tournament, wait till tomorrow or 2 days from now in the gold medal game when people realize that the gold medal game is 3-on-3 overtime, and people are going to lose their minds. Because that's just how it works. And the fact that we're playing 3-on-3 for an Olympic gold medal is ridiculous. It's terrible. The fact that you can't give fans 5-on-5 hockey in the biggest tournament on the international side, it's just disappointing. And a lot of people tomorrow or 2 days from now or whenever the medal games come around, they are going to be losing their minds about this because it's ridiculous, and frankly, it is. Okay, what else we got? Hello from DSO Dragus 4616. Hello. Roto Xplo 3133. Do you think Slovakia has a chance against the USA? And I do. I really do. And I actually think that it's going to be a bit tighter than most people might give it credit for. Especially if they can play their game, there's absolutely a chance. As we do enter now the second period of action, puck is about to drop, about to get back underway. If you have not already, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and one more, fill out or hit the let me know who you think is going to win in our live poll. Results for the poll as at this current moment, 72 votes are in, and the results have swung a little bit. 53% for the Finns, 47% for the Canadians. 72 votes in once again at the start of this first period, or of the second period rather now. And this is going to be a huge period for the Canadian team here. They need a goal, and they need to get themselves back into this game. Theodore, shot from the point, blocked out front by Luosterainen. He's down now. Theodore, back to Theodore, shot from the point, blocked. Hagel to Bennett. Bennett over to Theodore. Harley down to Bennett. Cannot connect. Bennett to Marchand. Marchand up to Theodore. Theodore over to Harley. Harley shot. Misses just wide of the net. Another missed shot here for the Canadian team. Marchand holds it at the line. Dumps it back to Hagel. Theodore's shot misses over the net. A lot of missed shots here by the Canadian defense so far. A lot of blocked shots, a lot of missed nets, a lot of struggling to get anything going in the offensive end. This Canadian team just hasn't been great today, to be completely fair. The Finns collect it back. Oh, and a big collision there. Didn't look good. Looks like both guys went off okay. Jarvis dumps it down deep for the Canadians. The Canadians have it down deep. McKinnon all alone in front of the net, but the Canadians can't jam it out of the corner in time. Lundell moves it up to Makar. Makar keeps it at the line. Horvat to Jarvis. Can't find it. Tays shot. Blockered away by Saros. Granlund dumps it out to the neutral ice. Makar skates in with it. Dumps it off to Tays, who slid his foot on the line there. Kept him onside. McKinnon. Celebrini out there as well. Makar on the backside. McKinnon can't find him. Makar. Celebrini. Celebrini rims it around. Can't connect with McDavid. Oh, and Makar can't keep it in at the line. Come on. Wilson. Oh, my God. I cannot stand Tom Wilson on this Canadian national hockey team. Shot from Harley misses way wide of the net. Harley now. Over to Parenko. Celebrini shot. Misses way wide of the net again. Absolutely abysmal shooting today from the Canadian team. Oh, and a delayed penalty coming up to the Finns. Canada will head to the power play. And touched up by the Finns. And the Canadians will go to the power play. They just showed those hints hints there. As McKinnon and Hintz collided in neutral ice. Neither of them saw each other coming. Hintz bloodied on the bench. As Aho got a penalty on Wilson. Wilson goes flying into the net there. But Canada will head to the power play now. And we will see if Aho for interference was the call. We'll see if Canada's going to be able to get themselves on the board. A big opportunity coming for this Canadian team. And one that they're going to need if they want to have a chance in this game. I don't want to say it's a must-score power play 3 minutes into the second period, but kind of feels that way. It's Makar. Skates it back in as the puck was dumped down on the Canadian end. McDavid now to Reinhart. And picked off again. Oh, as the Finns work it back the other way. Haula all alone on a break. Haula scores for Finland to make it 2-0. And, oh my God, the Finns are back playing Finnish hockey. And what else is new? This Canadian team's going to lose today. Oh my God. Finland 2, Canada 0. Short-handed goal for Erik Haula. A turnover in the offensive end. Turns all the way back. Oh my gosh. They're actually going to lose today. They're actually about to lose this game. Oh, I should probably change the score too. 2-0. 1:25 left to go in the Canadian power play as Cooper now sends out the second unit after getting scored on shorthanded. Way to go, Coop. We gotta coach this team well. Marner. Down to Marchand. Marner. Spins and dipsy doodles. It's down to Stone. Marner. Stone now. Stone walks in. Oh, but gets hooked out and could not find it through. Shot all the way around. It's Canadians now. Dumping it. No one there on the side. And that puck. Oh, kept in there by Theodore, though. Good keep. Marchand. Oh, my God. Figure it out. This team's... Oh, my God. They're actually about to lose this game. McDavid now. Winds it up for the Canadians. McDavid to Celebrini. Shot. Misses. Misses again. And maybe blockered away by Saros. And that will do it as it's cleared down for the Canadian power play. And also, my dreams. McDavid. Celebrini. He can't find it. Oh my God. Figure it out, guys. Let's go. Please, 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 please. I beg you. And icing. Great. Way to go. Way to go. Oh, they're showing Hollow's goal. Well, the problem's our goaltending, right? Pretty sure that's what people said. Maybe we stop giving them breakaway chances every 4 minutes. Why don't we stop giving them power play opportunities? Mata across the line. Yoki Haru from the point. Tipped, but Binnington with the glove save. Oh my gosh. It'd be crazy. Outsider final. Slovakia versus Canada. Slovakia versus Finland. Slovakia, Finland would probably destroy me. I'll be completely honest with you. Hello, I've just recently subscribed to your channel. Thank you for subscribing. Not from any English-spoken countries, but I have an English name. Call me Johnny. Well, hello, Johnny. Oh my God, that's wild. Classic. Finland have been excellent. Finland have been excellent today. They've played their perfect game. Yoki Haru now brims it around. And let's see the Canadian fourth line here. All the offensive capabilities for them. Pareko dumps it down deep. On the fly, Canada, nil, Finland 2. Continue a shorthanded goal is never good. It's really not. Some might say it's a disaster, honestly. Especially the way this Canadian team has been playing so far today. Haven't been able to get anything going. And then the Finns. What is our poll at out of curiosity? 79 votes in, 54% for the Finns, 46% for the Canadians. If you have not already, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, it'll make me feel a little bit better about today. Holla. Shimmies it down deep, and that will go for icing. 13:22 left to go in the second period. Oh, and the Armageddon line again. McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini. What a line, though. Like, you think about it. As Crosby's not even in attendance today, which means he's, like, really badly hurt. Showed Morrissey and Kemper there in the stands. Doughty holds on to it. Shot from the point. Into a lot of traffic. Can't find its way through. Armageddon line there for the Canadians. As we will go to another commercial break. Finland does lead 2-0 against the Canadian team, who has looked abysmal so far. Finns, always a tough one. And the fact you go down by 2. One great thing about hockey is you don't get fans arguing and threatening others for days on end like some sports associations football. You haven't seen Canadians after they've lost an Olympic Games quite yet. After losing 2 Olympic Games, I might add. Back-to-back days, the women's and then the men's. I am crushed. They need a win for this country. They just need it. And the Finns are just such a good team. Like, this is a rough tournament. The fact is how well Canada started too. You knew that there was going to be a problem later in this tournament. And yes, you lose Crosby, right? And Crosby's a huge loss. Surely they can't lose to a country with low-key a population of 5 people. Finland's not that small. I mean, Canada's relatively small as far as people go as well. I think we're, up to 40 million maybe? Not sure what countries in Europe are at, but brutal game for the Canadians. Yep. Yes, it is. Brutal game from Maivi Atkinson. Kako dumps it down. 13 minutes left to play now in the period. Makar skates it up. Celebrini. Cross. Oh, Taze. Let the puck go. Let the players make their moves, please. So many problems today for the Canadians so far. Haven't got anything going. Makar rims it around. Oh, and Saros. Oh. Doughty. Over to Sanheim. Sanheim rims it around. Stopped up by Saros. Yeah, this is going to be a rough game. Stone to Suzuki. Marner. Suzuki backdoor. Nothing there. Shot from Pareko. Tipped over the glass. Can't fathom that as soon as Crosby's out on an injury, we immediately start forgetting how to dominate in hockey. Well, it does go to show what leadership can do at these kind of tournaments, right? And I mean, you even see with the women's team the other day where for the Canadians, like, they got blown out 5-0 against the U.S. in the prelims. You put Marie-Philippe Poulin, who's clearly injured, back in the lineup, and all of a sudden it's a 2-1 game. So, which they nearly won in 2, I may add. Marchand now wheels it up. Marchand holds. Marchand dips doodles. Mikkola gets closed in on and turns the puck over, and the Finns break it up the other way. Just been one of those types of games. In qualifying in football, for football World Cups, you have England, Germany, Spain playing Andorra with 79,000, San Marino 31. Yeah, it's always interesting to see that, right? What's Wilson doing with 4 sticks in his hand? Harley holds, shoots from the line. saved by the goaltender Saros. As a Swede, I am proud of little bro. Yep. Well, they're doing okay today. Fortunately for the Swedes, couldn't pull off yesterday. What a game that was though yesterday, right? Like you think about or 2 days ago, I guess. You think about how well that game went, and how well that game was played from really both sides. Very defensive, and ultimately just came down to one chance. I'm mainly a football soccer fan, only started following ice hockey since March 2025. Are you excited for the 2026 World Cup? I am over the moon for the World Cup. Canada's in it, which is going to be extremely exciting, and Canada's hosting it too. So I'm hoping they're in a real tough group, but hopefully they'll be able to pull it out. McKinnon now. Celebrini shot. Tipped out in front, but can't find its way through. Saros with another big save for the Finns. Yeah, I am really excited for this World Cup tournament to go. Not the biggest of football fan, but there's nothing better than cheering on your country in these tournaments. Latvia is at 1.8 million population, Finland around 5.6. So yeah, I guess there's a little bit of a difference there. Yeah, still a fair number of people. Theodore now turns his back. McKinnon, and loses the puck. Falls off his stick. Sanheim, over to Theodore. Cycles it around to Celebrini. McKinnon. Armageddon line for the Canadians again. Celebrini. McDavid. Down to McKinnon. McKinnon. Shot! Saved by Saros. Celebrini on the backside with a low angle. McDavid wheels it up again. Celebrini. Celebrini looks cross-side for Reinhardt, but can't find it. This has been a tough game. Oh, my goodness. That's too many men. So many men. Shot. Saved. Jarvis there on that chance. Canadians starting to find a little bit more offense here, but still hasn't been great. I think a team with a few NHL caps and someone would actually try to continue bringing that calming energy that Crosby has. Just a testament to what he brings to the team. I think as well I think part of it too is you even look across their lineup, and it's a pretty veteran team, right? And you look at guys like Drew Doughty who've been there, who've done that. You look to a few other guys as well on that team. A little bit more of that depth, but leadership side. I mean, McDavid, obviously, he's been there. He hasn't won it, but he's been pretty close in the NHL. You have a few other guys in there, a little bit more of that leadership type. Marchand's one, another guy he's been there, he's done that. There's a lot of guys who this Canadian team can look to, but having that one central presence where Crosby's won everything, right? And he's won 4 nations. He's won an Olympic gold. He's won a few Olympic golds. He's won the World Championships. And so he has a different presence, I'd say, than most of the other players on that team. Doughty's one you always look to, and he doesn't, I don't believe at least he's wearing an A today, but he wasn't an A at the start of this tournament. So definitely a tough one. I don't know who that is. They're showing somebody on the screen, but I have no idea who it is. Keeping a clean sheet shutout in hockey is much harder than football. Yes, it is. Definitely a more, I don't want to say exciting game because that's not the right word, but more action-packed game, I guess, is probably the more accurate way to say it. Mikkola or to Ristolainen. Dumps it down. Binnington plays the puck. Just keeps it. Marner. Shoots it down to Saros, who clears it off the board. Stone tries to clear it out, and the Finns, okay, they don't break it back up. They were close. Average goals in football, soccer, 2.5. Average goals in hockey, 5.8. Is that right? Huh, I guess it is. Suzuki fires it out. Can't find it. Makar. Another turnover. This team, man. This team. Oh my God, Lehkonen. They had, like, the fact that they can't get a, like, the other problem, and this is one of the bigger problems right now, is they are going McKinnon. Shot, saved by Saros. They're going with one line, right? And one line of pure offense. They go with the Armageddon line. The problem with Armageddon is if you don't do it, everything blows up. So it's great if it's working, but it's just not working right now for them. And the Finns have that top line is extremely defensive. And so it's very difficult that if you don't have multiple lines of offense going to be able to be successful. McKinnon rims it around. Celebrini. Celebrini again. Come on, Celebrini. Shot. Saved by Saros. Single chances here. No follow-up. McKinnon tries to go to Harley. Can't. Oh, and Granlund breaks it up. Looked might have been offside there in Hins. Theodore fires it around to McKinnon. Oh, can't. Theodore. Larkson. Shoots it around. Celebrini there, but no one there for the Canadian. Oh, and a good keep in there by Wilson. But right back on the Finnish stick, and they break it out. Again, another one of these. Been able to get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bennett. Marchand. Doughty fires it around. This is one of the reasons why I am not a huge fan of shots on goal, because you watch this game and you see the shots and say, oh, it's 18-10, but you watch the action. Oh, and Marchand with the high stick on the Finns. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him, Sanheim. 6:25 left. Canada will go to the power play. Canada will head to the power play for a chance to get back on track here. As Marchand uses his chin there and takes the high stick. We'll see if they're going to be able to get on the board. If they can get on the board, there's a chance. I know we just talked about how it was a must score in the last one, and then the Finns ended up scoring. But this power play, 6:25 left to go in the second, feels about as much of a must score as you can get. Celebrini filling in for Crosby's spot. Reinhardt, McKinnon, McDavid, and Makar. Makar takes it. Gives it off to McDavid. Celebrini cross crease to McKinnon. Pass wasn't there. And you can really see that spot missing. Celebrini, not really much of a McDavid or a Crosby. Makar works it up to McKinnon. Back to Makar. Makar shot tipped in front. Can't find it through. McDavid to Makar. Makar walks the line. Down to McDavid. McDavid. Kept in though. McCarr over to McDavid. McDavid walks in, fakes. McCarr to the point, shot, scores! Tipped in front by looks like Sam Reinhart, and Canada gets on the board. It is now 2-1 on the power play. Sam Reinhart with the tip in front. And there's a little bit of life. Just a wee bit. Not a great ton, but there is some life to this game. On the power play. 5:40 left to go in the second period. Now, is this a high stick is the real question. Oh, what a tip, though. He wasn't even trying to tip it. He accidentally did. See, those are the kind of bounces that you need if you're the Canadians. Just one lucky one to get yourselves going, and now the momentum flows from there. Harley breaks out to Suzuki. That's offside, yeah. There's a chance. There's a chance, everybody. 94 votes in our poll. 47% say Canada, 53% for the Finns. Now, let's see here. Very important goal. Good goal. Let's go. Canada cut the deficit. Not over till it's over. I guess Canada will lose. Oh, no. Well, yes, momentum's great, but doesn't really matter if they don't do anything with it. So they need at least one more. The one nice thing is they could get it on the power play as well. So, or the empty net chance as well. Realistically, you're not scoring 2 empty net goals on the Finns, but Canada win anything else today? Valerie Malte wins the bronze medal in women's 1,500 meter speed skating in Canadian news. So Canada with another medal. Oh, and John Cooper is laying in to his team now. Hope they can. Yeah, let's really hope they can, because I can't take. I can take one, right? I can take one Canadian team losing, and they did, right? And they lost. They lost their game, and that was expected, but still hurt against the U.S. yesterday. But if we have back-to-back Canadian losses at this tournament, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Hollow's goal was some comical defending by Canada. Oceans of space for the Finns' second goal. But I mean, that was right, and that's part of it. And it's the annoying part about this Canadian team is they obviously they play really good offense, but what separates them from teams like the U.S. is their defensive ability. And when you give teams like the Finns opportunities, especially breakaway chances, they're not going to miss them. Doesn't matter who it is on the ice, because they know that they're going to get a very specific number of chances during a game. And if they don't take advantage of it, they're going to lose. This icing now for the Finns, go back into their own end. Rantanen's goal was the Finns weaponizing the face-off as an effective set piece. McCarr holds, shot, misses way wide of the net off a block shot. And that one likely goes icing as... Nope, no icing. Oh, McCarr handcuffed. Aho picks up the puck to Rantanen in the slot. Didn't get a shot off it. How are you shot? Tipped. Misses wide. Mata. Taze. Teravainen in pursuit. Teravainen ties up Taze. Oh, how I miss Jonathan Taze on the Olympic team. This puck gets flipped up. Jarvis goes low. Suzuki, no. It's not collected. Teravainen to Hintz. Hintz walks in to Granlund. Granlund with the move. Shot. Oh, and just misses wide. Granlund there with the grade A opportunity. Nearly slides it over the blocker of Jordan Binnington. Rantanen's goal is the Finns weaponizing the face-off as an effective set piece. Exactly right. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? You win it back and then you shoot it. It's one of the more simple plays, but it does work. McDavid taking a defensive zone face-off draw against Lundell. David has been struggling on the dot today in another mixed battle there on the face-off. Canada comes away with possession, though. Doughty in his own end. Rims it around the boards to McKinnon. McKinnon flips it out to center. The Finns will pick it back up. Lundell dumps it down deep. Binnington out to play it. But the Canadians keep it on their sticks. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. .303 left to go. Shots are 19-10 for Canada. Good hit there. Wilson now looks up, shoots. Oh! Sam Bennett all alone, but can't jam it home. Oh, Bennett. Oh, takes his legs out from under him. Probably no call, though. What a line this is. Harley fires it on the Saros. What a line this is. Sam Bennett, Tom Wilson, and Brad Marchand. Talk about a line you don't want to play. Durant in pursuit. Does not catch up. And we'll go for icing. Suzuki looks shaken up there. And I'd assume the Armageddon line pops out for the Canadians here. It's Wilson. Oh, Bennett had it too. Oh, and it bounced back into Saros. Oh, a grade A chance there for the Canadians. Just can't find it through. Armageddon line for the Canadians here. Halla, Kiviranta, and I'm not sure who the other one is for the Finns. Halla. Taze. McKinnon. Wheels it up ice. McDavid! Spin move! No one there. Right into a Finnish skate. Kiviranta. Dump it down deep. Push the Canadians back. Binnington out to play it again. McKinnon flips it out right onto a Finnish stick, but Hintz can't find it through. McKinnon. Down to Celebrini now. Celebrini dumps it down. Shot by McDavid with Saros coming back in after trying to play the puck. Theodore dumps it down again. Big hit there by Suzuki. Stone passes it to Suzuki, who trips over the blue line. Ice is slippery. You got to be careful. Marner holds, dumps it down. Suzuki can't. Hintz dumps all the way down, which will go for icing with under a minute to go now in the second period. It's crunch time for this team, and we're getting to that point now where it is starting to get to the do or die spot in this game for Canada. And I know it's still a period left, but it is stressful times, to say the least. Nice stick, maybe. No. Tays. Long stretch pass to Celebrini. Celebrini works it in. Armageddon line again for the Canadians here. 36 seconds left to go now. 22-10 the shots, but Finland leads where it counts, 2-1. A power play goal for Mikko Rantanen. A shorthanded goal for Erik Haula. And then the Canadian goal, Sam Reinhart, who tipped it in on, I believe it was the power play. Yeah, it was the power play. Been a bit of a tough start, to be completely fair, for this Canadian squad. But starting to generate a little bit more momentum now. Offensive pressure is keeping up. That's a trip, maybe. No. Yoki Haru fires it around. Lundell now breaks it out. Lundell with the move, but Binnington, whoa, covers up. .8 left to go. Lundell with a really weird chance there. Binnington was about to play it and then scoops it. That could have ended very badly for this Canadian squad. Shots on goal in the second period, 14-3 for the Canadians. It has been a bit of a dominant period, you do have to admit, but still, like, where it counts, it's, 1-1? Marchand in pursuit. Marchand turns it. 10 seconds left to go. Marchand tries to run it out. Oh, and a big hit there by Tom Wilson. Big hit by Bennett. This line is just running around hitting people now. So we do head into the second intermission. And, yeah, we're back. Sad Canadian fans back. Honestly, I should have seen this coming today, especially after what this Canadian team has done over the last few days. Nearly lost to the Czechs, lost to the U.S. yesterday on the women's side, and it's just a disaster. Disaster of a game. Second period, going to be answering your live questions. So if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, opinions, anything you want to talk about, feel free to drop it in the chat. What do we got? You are a great YouTuber. Your videos are awesome. Keep it up. Thank you very much. And go Finland. Oh, come on. Be nice to me, please. If we can keep this, all we need is empty net and overtime goal. Not impossible, but the Habs do it every second game. Yeah, well, that's fair. The only problem is they did kind of do that 2 days ago, right? And as much as late kind of comeback is great, it only works for so long, and especially when you play the Finns, where they're a scrappy team as it is, and you get to overtime, you're going to go against their best players. It's going to be tough, and we saw that against the Swiss the other day, where the Finns came storming back right at the end of that game, forced overtime, and then overtime period rolls around, and, I mean, it was a bit of that kind of dominant performance in overtime that you were expecting to see. I'm not sure that the Canadians really want overtime against the Finns right now. Imagine Finland making back-to-back goals with most of the NHL best available. It'd be impossible for most to chat back to the Finns if they did. That is very true. And even at Four Nations, like, we spent quite a bit of time in their team preview video kind of talking about Four Nations and the fact that for the Finns, they were a team at this tournament that from Four Nations to now significantly improved, right? And They get a lot of new players on their defensive side because their defense were all hurt during Four Nations. So a significant improvement for them there. You lose Barkov, bit of a problem, yes, but Barkov's the kind of player who is relatively replaceable, especially within the Finnish system and the way that they play. Obviously, you'd want him. He's a great player. He's a good goal scorer, and for the Finns, you kind of want that. But you think of kind of the way that they play the game, the way that they're structured, especially when they're trying to upset teams like the Swedes, Canada, the U.S., which was their path to always get to this point. They had a significant advantage coming into this Olympics than what they had at Four Nations. They were competitive at Four Nations. They beat the Swedes at Four Nations. They nearly beat Canada at Four Nations. They held in with the U.S. through 2 periods at Four Nations. They had a really good team there that was significantly worse than what their team is now. And so they were always going to be competitive at this tournament. I don't think that was much of a contention point. But I'm not sure any of us really realized just how good they were. And so, once again, yes. And you'd love nothing more than to see Canada go on. But I mean, and even for Canada today, right? One player shouldn't derail a team as badly as it has, because you're seeing it, right? And without, you're seeing it without without Crosby, this Canadian team has just kind of gone down the wayside. Suomi team is same as Four Nations, just important to term. I would say it isn't, though, right? And you look at the way that the Finns are built, they're not built to go mano-a-mano on offense. They're a defensive first team. You add back Heiskanen, Lindell, Ristolainen was back from injury. Who else? There's one more in there as well. Mikkel, I'm pretty sure, played at Four Nations. Mata might have been the fourth. But they add back a bunch of different defensemen who weren't available from that Four Nations tournament, and that is a huge, huge opportunity for them to get a lot better and fit within their system, where they didn't have that at Four Nations. And we saw that at Four Nations too, right? So I do think that, yes, as much as you can say, well, they add some defense, they lose their best center, is it kind of a trade-off? Sure. And I could accept that argument. But I think that the way that the Finns play, their defense are way more important than what's up front. And we're seeing that in today's game, where they're holding tight with the Canadians because they have a good goaltender, Nisi Saros, and they also have some very good defense who are keeping Canada to the perimeter, making sure to shut it all down. And this is the result of when you play strong hockey. As a Czech, what do you think about Gudas? He's a good player, and I know where that's kind of going along with the whole injury to Crosby part. But for Gudas, when you come into these tournaments, especially with what they needed to do at this tournament, you were looking for the Czech team to be very physical, because that's how teams. No, Aho is not a defender. Yeah, Aho's a forward. With Gudas, you're looking for him to kind of be that force, that kind of physical force that a team like the Czechs need. And he's a shutdown guy. He's going to be a leader on the team. He's going to be a physical guy on the team. He's going to play good defensive hockey as well, but he has to play his game in order to do that, and he's not a soft player, right? And he's a guy who's going to go hard into corners. He's going to play physical, and sometimes that means injuries. And so we're going to see whether or not they are going to be able to kind of find their way through. And for the Czechs, you look to their future tournaments, and the men's worlds for me is a huge opportunity for the team like the Czechs kind of get back up on that big stage. And you look at them kind of across the board, and even with the Swiss, where The Swiss, we saw a lot of the same players at this Olympic tournament that we have at the World Championships for the last number of years. They've grown in the chemistry factor. There's a reason why they're back-to-back silver medalists. They're at home hosting that tournament this year, the World Championships. And so it's a huge opportunity for them. It's a huge opportunity for them to go far in this tournament. It's a huge opportunity for them to basically try and win the tournament because they've been so close the last few years. It's more that becomes, well, why not them, right? And I think that there is a very good argument to be made that the Swiss should be considered a good team, one that could very well end up contending. And I don't think that is that far-fetched. Yeah. And they're defending champs. Saros, Aho. Not having a goon meant the Czechs physically destroyed Crosby's knee. I mean, you look like part of the problem is I think Tom Wilson, the fact that he's on the Canadian national team is very difficult, right? And he got into a lot of trouble after dropping gloves with Crinault, Pierre Crinault from France. For a guy who's known for big hits, dirty plays, fights, kind of being an enforcer, it's extremely difficult to all of a sudden kind of turn the tide and say, well, no, we're gonna play good defensive, or we're gonna play better, we're gonna play more by the rules. Like, that's just not something that happens. And so I think that it was a problem with roster selection from the start. And that has placed a part in it. You see him fight early on, and I think if he doesn't fight with Crinault there, you see him fight with Gudis at the Olympics here. But you look at that game, the way it played out, you can't be taking penalties, and you don't want to end up with the one big penalty out of that. And so for a guy like Wilson, his game is kind of neutralized at this tournament because he's not, yes, he's a good penalty killer. Yes, he's a good offensive player and he's a good player overall, but that's not his game. That's not why he's good. He's good because he gets under opponent's skin. He's a dirty player in a good way, like not in a, he's dirty because he's terrible, but he's a dirty type player. He's like Marchand, he's like Sam Bennett, but he's a bigger guy than Bennett or Marchand is. And so because of that, he has to fight. And he can't do that at this tournament. And it's been one of the reasons why, since the very start of this tournament, I've been questioning the decision to put Tom Wilson on this roster because, frankly, he doesn't play a part unless it's in a negative way. And we saw that in the game against France. We saw it yesterday, too, where he'll get a goal every once in a while. You look to him, especially when he's playing alongside Connor McDavid and Macklin Celebrini, you're going to score a goal at some point. But there's ways to do it. And I think there's better players that could have been taken. I think Zach Hyman is one that is kind of that obvious sore thumb. He already plays alongside McDavid and Edmonton. And so he would have been a nearly perfect candidate to fit the role that they were looking for. And as much as, yes, Tom Wilson, grinder type player, good player, it's just his game does not fit what the Canada needs right now. And we're starting to see that now, and we're seeing it with the Armageddon line as well, I might add, is Four Nations, there was basically two lines of offense, right? And the two lines of offense were good, and they played well at Four Nations. I thought that they'd keep that going into this tournament, and they kind of have, right, with the Crosby-Stone connection. I thought they might put McKinnon on that line as well. McDavid has kind of gone with McKinnon now and Celebrini, which with Braden Point out kind of hurt them a little bit as well with that offensive side. Connor Bedard, people have been calling for a while. And then it doesn't help that there's injuries as well to your team now. And especially in this game where, once again, 2-1 game, the Canadians have only been able to score one goal as an offensive team, you're probably not going to win. So, very long story short, it is trying times for this Canadian team today, and now it's a matter if they can get the job done. Okay, who do I have winning the gold medal? Guy was named nobody. sure what that means. Where was I? Who do you have winning the gold medal? I had at the start of this tournament, I had the U.S. because the U.S. had the easiest path to get into the final. They had the best chance to win. They had, I thought, the better team on paper than the Canadians, and we're starting to see why that is, I'd say. But at the same time, the Canadians and the U.S., so tight on paper, both have very good teams. Both have struggled as well at different points in this tournament. I had Finland winning the bronze medal over the Swedes, just because of the way the tournament format or structured itself. And the Slovaks I had coming third in the group, which ended up turning out decided by 1 goal. So, yes, like, in reality, the bracket, you could say, was thrown off by 1 goal in the end. But it's all part of it, right? And it's why seeding becomes so important. It's why you need to win the games that you can to end up going all the way. But the Finns, always a tough team to beat, and we're seeing that today. And just part of the beauty of it. Noel, who's not a defender, yep. Sadly, Suomi didn't play the U.S. They haven't played them yet. We'll see if they play them for gold, if they keep going with what they're doing. What is the best team that didn't qualify, in your opinion? What is the best team that didn't qualify? The obvious answer is like Norway. I would say Austria was one that really impressed at the most recent Men's World Championships. They pulled off some really big wins and found themselves into the quarterfinals for the first time in their program history. The Austrians, I'd say, were probably the best non-team at last year's tournament. Norway's a good one. Trying to think who else would be kind of competitive. Slovenia with Kopitar would have been a nice send-off this year. But for me, Austria was one that I looked at as kind of that team that could have very well probably should have been here, replacing a France or an Italy. But obviously qualification didn't necessarily go their way. Best team eliminated in the quarterfinals has to be Sweden. Yes, I would agree. The Swiss this year were really good as well. The Czechs were very good. But in the end, the Swedes, best team on paper. And really that it took them too long to get going, and that's what ended up costing them, right? And you think about it, they lost by 1 goal, or they won by 1 goal too few in that game against the Slovaks. Ends up putting them against the Americans, and that's why they ended up losing. So, I mean, time will tell, right? And that's the beauty of this sport, is it honestly just comes down to which team plays the right way right to the very end. But okay. Where were we here? Guy named nobody did that. I think I missed one. Best team, we got that one. Do you think U.S. Slovakia will win over the U.S.? There's a possibility of it. I think the U.S. does take it, though. Come on, Finland, no. Guy was named nobody. Don't know, really sure what that means. Wilson, Marchand, Bennett on the same is diabolical. That's just an ad. Marchand, Bennett, similar diabolical. Biblical levels of aggravation must be very annoying to play against them. And that's what you kind of think, right? And you think about that line and how annoying it is. You have basically the 3 biggest pests in the NHL. You put Tkachuk maybe in that conversation. I'd say you put those 3, Bennett, Marchand, and Wilson, with Tkachuk, and that'd be like a diabolical 4th. And yeah, so it's pretty bad. And the fact that they're putting them together is the best part of this entire tournament. I can only imagine them together at like a 4 Nations thing where you could actually fight. That would be an electric one. If Canada and the USA play each other in the final, I just hope we don't see like 10 players get ejected because of fighting. I never like fighting personally. I don't expect there to be much fighting in that game. I think you look at the consequence of it, they will likely not do it. There's the potential for it. I'm not going to say there's no chance, but especially after 4 Nations, like you even saw in that final game, with all the emotions that went into that game, I think that they resolved it at 4 Nations and in Montreal. I don't necessarily think it's going to carry to Italy. I think that there will be a lot of aggression. I think there's going to be a lot of big hits, but I don't think there'll be any fighting, at least at that point in the tournament with 1 game left. the players want to play it out for the gold medal. I don't think they're going to try and take liberties at any point. Let's see who makes it this third period. Tony Perkele. Let's see. Hopefully Canada can pull it through. USA Finland's an interesting matchup. Very interesting matchup. Advantage to the US, but the way the Finns play is going to be extremely, extremely, beneficial to them when they play the US. Slovakia Finland finale, please no. That would be a disaster. That would be sick. That would be awesome. Still rate ice hockey, rugby. Where the diving, yeah, I can't stand diving. It's one of my least favorite things in sports. As we are back underway for third period action between Finland and Canada. If you are new here, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what your score prediction is in the chat. Make sure to fill out who you think is going to win in the poll, which reminds me to check the poll at 110 votes. 55% of people think the Finns are going to win. 45% say Canada. Harley works it up here for the Canadians. See how the Canadians respond here early on. See if Cooper really ripped into them at the break. Marchand comes through with a check. Suzuki now. Down to the finish end. Oh, and trips up. Ice is slippery. Tay shot. Blocked out front. Shot. Saved. 18:43 left to go in the third. Time the enemy of this Canadian team so far. So puck rimmed around the boards. Makar. Come on, guys, figure it out. Makar behind the Canadian net. Shuffles it out and back out to center. Time very much the enemy of the Canadians. Puck dumped in for the Finns. They're content with just playing this back and forth. With Celebrini works out with McDavid. Celebrini tries to force feed it to McKinnon, but no one there. Ristolainen. Shoot it back around the boards, and the Finns clear right back out to center. Oh no. Lehkonen misses the net wide. 17:42 left to go. Oh, and a big hit by Connor McDavid. Oh, come on. McKinnon loses the puck again. Oh, this has been such a poorly played game by Canada so far. Doughty, big mistakes wherever they make it, and they always end up in the net. Harley, over to Celebrini. Celebrini dumps it down deep. (3-1) Finns? Oh no. Please no. Oh no. Picked off. Kakko to the middle. Looks to be a penalty there. Kakko shot. Misses wide. Harley. Right, rims it around for Jarvis. Jarvis trips. No. Horvat. Jarvis, come on, pick it up and let's go. Jarvis. It's Makar. Can't find it. Makar. Cycles it down. Hagel. Stone picks up the puck. 16 left to go in the third period. Time the enemy of this Canadian team today. Come on. Theodore shot wide of the net. You need a big goal here. Marner. Come on, Mitchie. Stone. Stone walks the line. Over to Theodore. Theodore waits. Fires it. Blocked out front again by the Finns. Storyline of this game so far. Doughty picks it up. Holds with it. Armageddon line out for the Canadians. McDavid wheels it. McDavid, move, shot. Blocked again. McDavid now. Celebrini shot. Saved by Saros. 14:57 left to go in this third period. 22-11 the shots. Canada can't lose twice. Please. Please not again. We've gone through this enough. You can have 2 tournaments without gold. Not at the Olympics. Makar shot from the point, blocked again. I think after doing this 100 times, you'd actually learn not to keep doing it. But no. Why would we? McKinnon, shoot the puck, please. If you're in the slot, shoot it. It's not that hard. You shoot when you're at the blue line, but when you get an actual good chance, you don't. Oh my God. Good grief. Oh, and Lundell all alone. Oh, and a big save by Binnington. Keeps the Canadians in it. As Wilson now works in with Marchand. Marchand out front. Can't find Bennett on the back door. Luostarinen fires it down deep. 14 left to go. Marchand. Oh, and picked off by Yoki Haru. Yoki Haru with it. Dumps down deep. Mia with a big hit. That's Hagel works in now for the Canadians. Hagel with the backhand flip, saved by Saros. Double OT is mad, by the way, to do 5-on-5. Probably didn't know, but then 2025 playoff final between Nottingham and Cardiff, there were 2 disallowed goals in overtime, the decisive goals in double OT. Yeah, that I always loved with the new video replay, it's like, can this game actually go the other way? Or, like, they score and everyone celebrates. It happened at the Women's Worlds, actually, a few years back. And same thing, like, they score. The Finns score in 2019. And it would have been one of the greatest. It was the first time ever that a country other than Canada and the U.S. ended up winning gold. And the Finns celebrate, and it gets called back, which was just crazy. To be honest, Canada sucks at this game. Canada needs to work together more than really don't make up good team. They have stars, not teamwork. Well, that's the other problem, right? And it's one of the things that I was hoping coming into this tournament that 4 nations would fix was that all-star type mentality where, you know, these guys are the stars of their team. And they've been stars for forever, really. And they're used to, when the games get important, doing it on their own. And that's the difference between them and the teams like, you know, the Canadians, the Finns. The Finns play together. That's why they're good. The Slovaks play together. That's why they're good. The Swiss play together. That's why they're good. The Czechs play together. That's why, like, it's the same problems. And we see that when those games get important, is that it's not like prelims, where prelims, the games get tough. It's whatever. It's the prelims. But as it gets onward, like it is now, and the playoffs come around, the games are actually important, they mean something, those players who have been doing it forever accept that it's on them to do it, and it's all selfish and just a disaster, honestly. Bro teaks 100 times in the best situations to shoot. Yeah, yes, he does. Makar rims it around, back underway here, 13:30 left to go in the third period. Canada trails by a goal. Canada gets the puck back of the line. Taves over to Makar. Makar walks in. Makar, back door. Celebrini looking for the jam play. Can't find it through. Lehkonen. Can't find it. Celebrini now. Passes up to McDavid, who gets the puck poked off him. Finland defend like a pack of wolves. That's what makes them so good, though, is they know what they know what they're doing, right? And they have a system in place, and they don't stray from that. Your teams like Canada don't know what to do. Up to Hagel. Hagel, dump it down deep. Hagel. Oh my gosh. Hagel, cross check from behind. Theodore shot from the point, goes way wide. Sanheim. Suzuki or Horvat. 12:09 to go. Horvat to Reinhardt, back to Horvat, over to Theodore at the point. Theodore shoots from a long angle, and no one in front to tip it home. Saros with another save for the Finns. Been a lot of very uncontested shots so far. One and dones. If you're the Canadians, you got to get to those dirty areas and find the opportunities. You're not going to beat Saros by being pretty passing plays. You got to find the rebounds. He gives up a lot of them. But why would they, right? They're star players. They don't need to do that. They got guys on the other team, on their home teams that they'd rather go and play with that will go to the dirty areas because they're not star players, or they're Finnish, because the Finns actually know how to score goals at these tournaments. And I wonder why they do. This is going to be a goal from, like, some player that you're not expecting. Seth Jarvis, I have a feeling, is going to come up, like, really clutch for this Canadian team. Saros stops it behind his net. Ristolainen. Puck goes all the way down to Binnington, who decides to play it. Oh, good play there. Suzuki walks in. To Marner. Save. Oh, that's a good attempt, though. As Granlund, or Kakko, rather. Kakko walks in. Kakko with a bunch of sticks around him. Can't find a way through. Saved by Binnington. Suzuki up to Harley. Harley will skate up with it now. Marner with the puck. Marner holds it. Shoots it around for Suzuki. Shot. Tease. Can't find it. Looks like Suzuki had a stick held. Harley shot. Misses way wide of the net. It's the Canadians with a lot more offensive pressure now. You're starting to see that desperation factor really kick in. Desperation. That's what it is, and you can feel it. Canadians know that it's coming to that point, right? Looking at our poll, 119 votes registered, 56% of the vote for the Finns, 44% for the Canadians. I don't like this sport. Celebrini works at Armageddon line for Canada. I have to say, I don't think this Armageddon line has really done anything so far in this game. Makar shot way wide to Celebrini now. Celebrini to McKinnon. And another beautiful... Celebrini shot! Oh, great play by Celebrini there. McKinnon. Makar. Oh my goodness, Binnington. Plays the puck to his defender. McDavid winds it up now with Marchand. Marchand works in. Marchand goes to the net with a dirty type play. I like that. Go get him, Tom. Go get him a fight. Wake the crowd up a little bit. wake the team up a little bit. A quiz for you. In the last 15 Stanley Cup finals, how many of those series did not have a single game decided in overtime? So last year there was. The year before that there was. Both Edmonton, Florida ones there were. I honestly have no idea. It's a good question, though. 6 said in the chat. That sounds about right. 2019 with Boston. Pretty sure there was. Memory serves. Yeah, there was. 2019 there was. Yeah, 6 sounds about right. The Canadian offense looks so overcomplicated. It looks like they overthink in many situations. The Finns just dump the puck in and goes from there. Yeah, right? Like, it's always been the problem for teams like Canada, teams like the U.S., because they're so skilled that they feel they have to use their skill on every play. And you put the best players in the world together, and that only gets amplified. And you have to go to the dirty areas, and you see John Cooper now yelling at his team, just go to the net, because the rebounds that Saros has let up in this game, if you have a guy looking for a rebound, you're probably scoring off that rebound attempt. And so it's just at that point. It's funny how I saw so many comments about the Finns would need 7 players on the ice to score, and instead they score a shorty, and the only goal that Canada has is a power play. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that. I mean, the Finns are always a good team, and I know, like, if you watch our videos, we talk about the Finns pretty extensively in just about every video because they play a really good system, and it's very hard for the better teams to get through it, as Bennett, Marchand, and Wilson will start on this line for Canada. Back to the point for Theodore. Theodore over to Sanheim. Sanheim shoots. Nothing there. Wilson at the point. Wilson takes a slap shot from the point. Blocked in front. Theodore over to Wilson. Wilson shoots with the bounce. Sanheim back to Theodore. Shot, scores! Shea Theodore for Canada makes it a 2-2 hockey game. Wow. We talked about it. The player who you least expected, the player who people said should not be on the Canadian national men's Olympic hockey team, Shea Theodore, comes in clutch for Canada, makes it a 2-2 hockey game. Now, is this going to be goalie interference because Marchand was on him? Oh, don't do it to me. Please, 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 please. No, don't tell me that's goaltender interference. Oh, no, it's going to be goalie interference. Marchand was on him. No, because he never got him back into position. No. Drop the puck. Drop the puck. We don't want to see a challenge. Drop the puck. Drop the puck. Drop the puck. Drop the puck. Good. Shea Theodore with the tying goal. Who would have thunk? And all of a sudden, Canada has life. Until they get scored on like 2 seconds from now. Parenko with the wheels. Dumps it all the way down. Celebrating to McDavid all in front. Reminds you a lot of that Four Nations play. No, it's a good goal. It's a good goal. We're good. Jeez. Up to Suzuki. Dump down deep. Oh, they call that icing. Oh, terrible. Suzuki was right there. First to the puck. 8:42 left to go now in the period. The fact that it's Shea Theodore too was more like the diva. Willie Rocks at 8500 says the Armageddon line. More like the diva line. I like that. I might use that actually. It's a good one. Swede. Yogi over to Mata. Mata shoots. Lots of pressure in front, but saved by Binnington. Stone gets the puck out to center ice. The Finns dump it back down. Canadians with the puck. Stone. Stone will collect with Makar. Makar leading the rush here. Fired in. Still going, but the puck goes out of play. Oh my goodness. Everything's okay, everybody. Don't worry about the poor Canadian. He's just fine. Okay? 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 Okay. Oh my goodness. Answer was Tampa, Chicago 2015, 2017, 2018, and 24. Did they not play an overtime game in 2024? I thought they did. I'm confused now with 25. What's he got his hand up for? There are 6 Canadians for every Finn on the screen, Earth. And the Canadians needed every single one of them. It's 2-2 now, 7:43 left to go in the third period. Canada has come back in this one after going down by 2 goals. Desperation started to kick in for the Canadians. You could see it. And we'll see if they're going to be able to keep that going, because now it's a matter of they can keep shot from the point. I really dislike this camera angle. The one from behind the net, it's awful. And offside the call. Canadians still being a little bit sloppy today, but definitely better, I'd say, than it was. As we take a look at our poll, 126 votes in, Canada at 44%, Finland at 56%. If you are new here, be sure to go vote on that poll. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We do these live streams every so often. We do a lot of game recap. We do our day recap videos for each of these double IHF tournaments. Cover the Men's World Championships, Women's World Championships, Men and Women's U18 tournaments, and the World Juniors in every 4 years. That also includes the Olympic Games. So this. Oh, and up front, right in the middle of the promo. As the Finns will ice it down the ice. Where was I? Oh, right. Self-promo. We do a bunch of different day recap videos, live streams every so often, a lot of team preview videos. We do full tournament previews, predictions, all of that. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can find our content a little bit more easy. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, today. And hopefully, just hopefully, Canada can win and I don't have to yell at a screen for 40 minutes in 4 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours time when we go and film our recap video tonight, because if the Canadians women and men's team lose on back-to-back days, my voice is gone as it is. I'm not sure if that's coming through on this mic today, but oh, saved by Binnington. Oh my God, clean it up. This line, this McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini line has been awful, absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Celebrini all alone misses the net again. Guess what? This line still sucks. Absolutely awful. Ristolainen now. 6:24 left to go. This game appears that it might be heading to an overtime period again after yesterday. I'm not sure if I can take another overtime. I'm not sure I can take another overtime after the first overtime we saw with this team back against the Czechs. Even that game was Wilson, Kleider's a Finn. You should have done that versus the Czechs. Yeah, importance of game 2, right? You need some energy every so often. Celebrini gives the puck away, puts it right onto the Finns. Nearly results in a goal for Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho. 6:14 now. Third period action. 31-15 the shots for the Canadian team against the Finns. But where it counts, a tied game, 2-2. So the Finns break it back up the ice. Kakko brings it down deep. And here comes the goon line with Bennett and Marchand and Wilson. Marchand tries a fancy move, gets the puck poked off him. Oh, nearly got by on a break there. Rupe Hintz in the area. Wilson, puck comes out. 5:35 now left to go in this third period. Overtime, quickly approaching. I really can't do overtime. Overtime is like scary. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So we go to another commercial break. Okay, we have some predictions in here. 3-2, 4-3 overtime win for Canada. Given that I believe this will be the last break before the end of the third, let me know if you think this game is going to end in regulation or if you think it will end in overtime. And if it does end in either of those, let me know who you think is going to end up pulling through, whether it be Canada, whether it be the Finns. Personally, I think it's going to go to overtime at this point in the game. You think about just how kind of back and forth it's been. It's been a very good game to watch, but kind of a little bit of that, I don't want to say annoying type, but definitely a back and forth type game that could go either way. And hopefully for my sanity, we don't lose twice, or Canada doesn't lose twice on back-to-back days. Because then I'm going to have to pick a new team to follow at this tournament, which I don't really want to do. No advert breaks on BBC. The fans are doing a clap dance, are they? See, on CBC, we get to watch just look at Italian nightlife. So you see people and talking, and it's nice. It's a nice little break, I'd say. But OT is the best scenario for Canada. They have so much talent 3v3. Yes, but at the same time, the Finns have some very star talent as well that is a lot more rested than what Canada's is going to be. And you even see with this Armageddon line back out again is they're double shifting like crazy. As Makar now works over to McDavid. Makar shot from the point, saved by Saros. I am actually terrified again. And I know that this game is like, it's great, but I just want to see one more Canadian domination game. And I know it makes for terrible content, and I apologize, but like, please. McKinnon winds it up, dumps it down deep. McDavid, first in the area with it. And he loses the puck, wrist the line, and pushes him off it. Granlund will dump it down deep. 5 minutes now to go in this third period. Great pass to Celebrini. Stops up. Celebrini looking for reinforcements. To McKinnon. McKinnon out front to Celebrini and blocked again because once again the Finns clog up the middle of the ice. So stop passing it there. Harley to Celebrini. Stone. Cycles it back to Parenko. Stone. Waiting for reinforcements. Here's Marner now. Marner waits, holds, shoots. Rebound. Can't find it. 4:15 now to go in this third period. Puck goes out of play. Oh my gosh. Marner with a beautiful chance, dips and dangles, but Sorrows with the outstretched pad. So close. The Finns are playing terrible now. They've basically parked the bus. Like, yeah, but that's just how they kind of play, right? And when you're playing Canada, you know what's to come. So I don't think it's that bad. Theodore rims it around. Wilson. Bennett. Kept in at the line for the Finns, but shot way out of play. 3:47 left to go in the third period, and then a very nerve-wracking overtime frame. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. I'm not sure they can put me through another overtime. I'm not ready. Please don't do it to me. Just score like 4 goals in the next 3 minutes, and then we can go home very happy. Nathan McKinnon, please. McKinnon on the draw. And another lost face-off draw. Ristolainen to Lundell. Lundell shot, save Binnington. Pressing Canada with some offense would be even better than this nervous defense. That's fair, but Canada really hasn't got that much going, is the other problem. Like, you'd be content with... I think you'd be content with Red Bull. Yeah, that's fair. Wait till overtime and you'll see, assuming they make it to overtime. Because the Finns, and what they do really well is they just wait for you to make a mistake. And so they don't need to play any kind of high-powered effort. Marchand, no, that's not offside. Give me a break. One of my favorite things was, so at the most recent World Juniors in pre-tournament play, I can't remember which team, I think it was Slovakia, pulls their goaltender 3-on-3, so they get the extra skater. So it's basically a power play. A 4-on-3 power play, and with the goalie pulled. And I've always thought of that as, like, when you're playing against a better team, you might consider doing that. Because it's just pure offense, right? And if you can keep possession of it, you pull your goaltender, you get an extra skater, then you force basically a 4-on-3 power play, lots of that open ice. Bennett now. Wheels in for the Canadians. 3:10 left to go. Throws it out front, saved by Saros as a pile up in front of the net. For those who are new here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us know who you think is going to win in the poll. 44% for Canada, 56% for Finland as of this current moment. We are back to shaky hands for those wondering. So hopefully they can pull this game through. I'm not sure I'm ready for overtime. Sorrow seems unstoppable. Hopefully that's the jinx that we all needed. As once again, guess who? Armageddon line. The amount of times I've said Armageddon line so far on this stream, I'm not sure you want these guys playing in overtime. A lot of minutes so far. There you go. Makar holding at the line. Dumped down to Taze. Taze to McDavid. Gets stopped up. Tries to do his signature move that doesn't ever seem to work. Taze over to Makar. Makar, wheels on the line. McKinnon deflects it in with the skate. Celebrini wheels it over. Turns the corner. McKinnon! Oh, and it's saved by the stick knob. No! High stick! High stick! High stick. Canada will go to the power play with 2:35 left to go in this third period. Oh. And you're telling me there's a chance. A reminder of today's power play. while they're on it, it's been a 1-1 hockey game. They scored a goal on it. And then also how does the stick come up? Oh yeah, it hits off his stick knob. Oh, what a save by Saros. They also allowed a shorthanded goal earlier in the game. For those wondering. Huge power play coming up for this Canadian team. Come on. McKinnon, Celebrini, McDavid, Makar, and Reinhart. Face off won by Canada. Reinhart walks in, shoots. Saved by Saros. Rebound. Cleared to the corner. McKinnon. Over to Makar. Makar works with McKinnon. McKinnon shoots. Blocked out front. McKinnon again. Still has it now. On the lower boards. McKinnon waits. Fires it across. Makar shot. Tipped. Oh, just wide. McKinnon has the puck down low. McKinnon up to Makar at the point. Down to McDavid. McDavid holds it. Waits. Skates. McDavid. McKinnon shoots. Misses the net way wide, and the puck will go all the way around. 1 minute to go now in the Canadian power play. 1:30 left to go in this period. McKinnon now winds it up for the Canadians. Connor McDavid. Celebrini. To Makar. Reinhart. To McDavid. To Makar. Back to McDavid. McDavid skates in. Waits. Backdoor. Rebound. No go. McKinnon now. Stands for the final minute of play in the third period. McKinnon looks for an open lane. Back up to Makar. Makar walks in to McDavid. Shoots. Saved by Saros. Cleared to the corner. McDavid again. Still has it. Back up to the point to Makar. Makar down to McDavid. McDavid waits. Tries to feed it across the ice to McKinnon. Does not go. Pinched up against the boards. Now end. Shot. Scores! Nathan McKinnon! 3-2. 35 seconds left to go in the frame. And it looks like Canada's actually going to be able to do it. Nathan McKinnon scores for Canada with 35 seconds left in the play, 2 seconds left to go in the period or the power play, and it looks, at least at this point, like Canada is going to go play for gold after being down 2 goals in this one. Oh, and everyone in Canada can breathe just a little bit. Oh my goodness. These games are way too stressful. What a goal there. Wow. Oh. Okay. Now. Wait, what are they reviewing? Wait, oh, they're reviewing for something. No. What are you reviewing? Wait. What are they reviewing? Are they reviewing offside? Oh, no. They challenged it. Finland challenged it. Which means that if it's not successful, they get a penalty. So they basically just tank their entire game here. No, please no. Challenging for offside, yeah. Where is it? Where's the offside? Wait. This angle is terrible. No. Oh my God, they actually are offside. Wait, are they? Oh, that's so tight. There's no way you make that call. There's not enough decisive evidence. Surely not. No. Because it's definitely Celebrini they're looking at down on the bottom of the screen. No, please no. No, 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 no. Please no, please no, please no, please no, please no. Please no. Goal. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Just let it be, please. I beg you. It looks so offside. But surely there's got to be a good camera angle here that's going to show them that it's... Because there's not enough decisive evidence there. That is... The fact that you challenge that too is crazy. Please, no. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. For those joining us now, Coach's Challenge. Canada just scored an equalizing goal. Here we go, here we go. Here's the call. They're talking it through. They're talking it over. Come on. Come on. Goal, 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 goal. Goal, 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 goal! It's good. It's a goal. Canada is now in the lead. Canada now will have a power play because of the unsuccessful Coach's Challenge. It's a goal. We're good. 3-2 Canada. It appears, assuming they don't do the Canadian women's team thing and put out 4 forwards on their power play unit here. Wow. That was I'll be honest, I didn't see any look that told me otherwise, but wow. Canada will head to the power play, 35 seconds to go. As the Finns break it out. You think that they pull their goal in, they do. Finland empty net as well. Power play. 22 seconds to go. As the puck cleared out by the Canadians, hits off a player on the bench, will go to the inside the Canadian end. It does appear, though, that they will go to the gold, assuming nothing crazy happens here. Wow. And people say this is just a game. Come on. Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia. Oh my goodness. Wow. It was only a good goal because it was, yeah, for sure. But at the same time, if you're doing a Coach's Challenge, you need definitive proof that it is a goal. Finland keeps knocking over Canada on the faceoff. Yeah, they do. What I'm going to do, because Finland also has their goaltender pulled, so I'm going to see if I can move this one over a wee bit. There we go. You're going to get to see these graphics do stuff live on stream. Here we go. Finland empty net. Canada power play. 5-on-5. Canada wins it back. Probably shoot it down. Take the icing. Wow, this is going to be the game to remember for Canada. 20 seconds left to go in the third period. Ref fakes them both on the face-off draw. 39-16 shots for Canada. It's been a bit of a game for them. She's telling the ref to move out of the face-off dot. 20 seconds. Win off the draw. Canada tries to clear it down. Can't. Aho. Over to Rantanen. And dumps it all the way down. That should do it here for this one. Heiskanen fires it. Blocked up. Oh, but Aho with the chance late. Aho misses the net wide and slashes the goaltender Binnington. Oh, but they blow it down. There will be a face-off despite him throwing the puck after. I don't believe this game is done yet. I think that there is still one more face-off to go. Maybe there isn't. It looks to be that they pointed at the ice, though. Probably half second or something along those lines left to go here. But it does appear that the Canadians will move on. Oh, wait. How much time are they putting on the clock here? 1 second. 1.13, 1.3. 1.3 seconds left to go in this game. One face-off play to decide it. The Finns have already scored a face-off goal or a face-off play goal so far. I am dying here. The nerves get into me. These weak arms are heavy. 1.3 on the clock. Canada 3, Finland 2. Aho takes the draw. Armia in the shooter spot here. Aho loses the face-off draw. That will do it. Canada will head to the gold medal game in an impressive comeback fashion over Team Finland. What a game. God, what a game. Oh, I feel like I've aged like 3 years in this game alone. After the game against the Czechs, where they trailed for most of it, had their comeback win. They do it again today against the Finns. And now they will look ahead to the gold medal game, where they will look to either take on probably the U.S., maybe the Slovaks, depending on what happens, but very likely we'll see Canada taking on the USA for a gold medal, a rematch at the Four Nations face-off. It is going to be quite the game later today. USA taking on Sweden, and so stay tuned for that one. A big semifinal coming up as well. We'll have our full recap video coming later tonight. But a big win today for Canada, a 3-2 win, coming back down 2-0 earlier in the game. Power play goal for Rantanen, shorthanded goal for Haula, and then the Canadians, with a little bit of desperation, finds their way back. The late goal on the power play by Nathan McKinnon puts Canada into the gold medal game. And 2 hours time, two and a bit time, or a little bit under 2 hours. Sweden will take on Slovakia. Winner of that game goes to the gold medal, will play Canada. Loser of that game will take on Finland for the bronze. For the Slovaks, we'll see if they're going to be able to pull off a great miracle, a great upset. Time will certainly tell. But that will do it today for this one. If you made it this far in the stream, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. Tell all your friends that Team Canada is going to the gold medal game.